Hey everyone, welcome to the People Speak Out, and it's wonderful to be in the host seat again as Helen's away and Sass was away last time. Um, I think one of them should be back for the next fortnight one. But in the meantime, here we are, and yeah, it's so good. Was just reflecting this morning that I've been doing these calls, or we've been gathering since January 2021, and here we are in July 2023. So we're in it for the long haul, and I know a lot of people were sort of quite flash in the pan in the freedom movement when the whole lockdown thing was happening, and it was easy to corral people. Whereas now, it's kind of like it's just the marathon runners that are left, in my perception, holding this space. And so it's really wonderful to see you all and so many faces who have been uh, here throughout the months. So I can see Roger's already raised his hand. If you want to come on and join the call and you want to speak out, this is called the People Speak Out. So uh, much as I love to ramble on, it really is about you sharing. So I will do a little opening and a sort of setting the scene. But if you want to speak, please put the yellow hands up symbol, which brings you to the top of the screen, and it makes it super easy for me to manage the call. So before we come to you, we're going to do our little alignment, and I want to do a little short reading. So this is just a couple of minutes just to fully land us in the space. And it's something that I now do at the beginning of every meeting, which is really just to fully land in the here and now present moment by uncrossing and putting both feet flat on the floor, a nice spine, straight spine, and just to take 3 long deep breaths in through the nose and blowing out slowly over the bottom lip, just to calm the nervous system. And as you're doing those 3 long deep breaths, just to drop from your mind into the heart, into your body. Just coming out of everything that you were doing before this call and everything that you might have planned for later this afternoon, just fully being present in the now moment. And I'm just going to read a little invocation, which I posted on the channels at the weekend, which I loved. And I'm sure you've heard it before, but it's worth reading again. Find the others. Trust me when I say that there are incredible, beautiful souls out there who are creating a new world. They do not live in fear. It does not even enter their mind. They are vibrant, magnetic humans that are creating magic in the world. When you meet one, you'll know. Picture the life you want. Release fear, raise your vibration, elevate. Change starts with all of us. Find the others. And it's nice to feel that many of you are already here and you're already showing up. So I just wanted to open with a little observation, and then I'll come to Roger. And it's an observation which has particularly come into my awareness over the Sound of Freedom movie. Now, there's been lots about it, and I would absolutely love to watch it. And I was trying to find out where to watch it, and apparently it's not out in the UK yet, and you can't get it on the streaming platforms, but it is out in America. It's had a lot of hype, and equally, there's a lot of questioning around it. Is it controlled opposition? Who is it funded by? Look at this video, look at that video, here's what Amazing Polly thinks, here's what someone else thinks. And it's just really interesting to notice this dynamic of being drawn in to focusing loads of energy and time and attention into is it or isn't it, and this film. Now, I'm not saying for one second there isn't trafficking, and I'm not suggesting spiritual bypassing of pretending it doesn't exist. Um, but uh, I'm just curious to observe how easy it is to get absorbed into a rabbit hole, and to then be lost in that rabbit hole and spending lots and lots of time and energy watching all these videos, trying to work it all out. Is it or isn't it? And taking into account all of these viewpoints, when over here is the world we do want, the world we do want to co-create. And it's the number one principle of metaphysics, is whatever you put your intention on, that is what you manifest. And so the more that we can focus on the world we do want, where all of the children are safe, where we have an education system or homeschooling system where our children are taught subjects which are going to be really valuable for this 21st century future, where we create a natural healing system and services which are embracing nature, and where we're not reliant on big pharma, you know. So all of these areas which we're co-creating, it's almost as if the false matrix, the Wetiko, is deliberately devising tricks and traps to draw our attention away from co-creating into being consumers. And I remember Joel Gazdar, when we were doing the 88 Activate program, he was talking about this a lot. Try to move away from being a consumer, a mindless consumer of content, and move into being a co-creator. Because as creators, we are powerful. Whereas when you're a consumer, when we're just consuming content, we're passive. We're typically passive. So this shift from consumer to creator is the trick. And this is, to me, this is what is going to create the future we do want, as opposed to pouring all of our energy on fighting what we don't want. So just wanted to open with that thought. And so I'm now going to come to the come to each of you, and let's come to Roger. Rog, my mate Rog. Hey, Roger. How you doing?
I'm okay, thanks. It says, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so I was talking to this man, Gary, yesterday, and I sent you a report about this.
Yes.
And the one thing that he said was that it seems possible to create our own domain. Well, I mean, this is so interesting. And he gave an example of the Muslims in London. They've created their own domain, which is basically a community, a community which is willing to comply to the rules of the domain. And even to the point where they've introduced Sharia law within the community of the domain.
Yeah.
And he seems to know an awful lot about a lot of things, actually. I mean, he's got an amazing memory. It's almost superhuman for historical facts and even historical vocabulary. Absolutely amazing. And that's why I want to organize, a Zoom meeting with anybody who wants to come on the meeting, but in particular yourself, Gary, myself, Julie, and Lynn,
Yeah.
because I'm sure there are questions which I can't even think of, which you could think of, the answers to which would be very useful to us. I told him about our plan to meet at Westminster Chapel. He can't come himself, and in any case, I wouldn't know at this point whether he would be allowed to come because he looks after his father, so he wouldn't be able to come himself. But what he did say, and he said this is very important, that we have to get a member of the clergy basically representing God. And so that's something which I didn't put in my report to you. I'd forgotten to tell you that. So I'm telling you that on this Zoom meeting now. But I really do think he knows an awful lot. He's a very unusual person in many ways. He told me a lot about his life, and which I'm not going to go into now. But he certainly deserves listening to. Okay, that's all I've got to say for the time being.
Roger, what time is that thing on the 23rd? Because that's the next Sunday, isn't it?
Yes, it's 3:30.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to open the doors to that to anyone who wants to come, uh, then are you going to do it? Have you got a Zoom account, or how are you going to do it?
Well, that's something I was going to discuss with you by email.
Or
Um,
would you like me to host it?
yes, I would, because I'm not
Okay.
competent enough.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I should be around, and that should be fine. Happy to do that at 3:30 on Sunday, the 23rd July, and to open to anyone who wants to come. So just to set a context to this, obviously we started out with the Love Party, and we were trying to become registered with the Electoral Commission, and after 4 attempts and massive amounts of red tape, and also realizing really strongly that our biggest uh, potential audience, shall we say, was the lost electorate. We kind of realized that actually it would probably be better for us just to ditch the system and to stand for the values of love as independent candidates, to appeal to the lost electorate, the 60% to 70% of people who don't bother to vote anymore because they've lost faith in the political system, and purely to stand for the people. So we had this thought that we have our the Love Party had scheduled to have its annual meeting on Saturday, the 30th September. So we thought, why don't we just open that, obviously to all of the members, but anyone who wants to come along, and to create a summit. And at that summit, to maybe, as well as doing amazing things like singing together and resonance and intention setting and visioning and all of those amazing mind metaphysical things that create magical results, why don't we forge or write or vision a kind of constitution for the 21st century? Now, Roger's flagged that constitution is a legal document, so let's just call it a statement or a state heart of what we believe are people's rights. Like, for example, the right to have a bank account, the right to have freedom of speech, the right to have access to unvaccinated blood if you need a transfusion. So really simple things. The right to the right to land to grow local organic vegetables with your community. Simple things like that. So this was the idea that maybe we should have a kind of summit, a love summit. And Lynn is very keen to do it in Westminster at the heart of the beast. And so we found an amazing venue, which is Westminster Chapel, where we can sit in the round. It's in between Westminster and Buckingham Palace, and it's a church basically. It's a converted church, a church which has been converted into a sort of event venue. So this is our feeling, is to have a summit, and to anyone who wants to come. And personally, I am not attached to numbers, and I do believe that small groups are equally, if not more powerful than large groups. And so to create a kind of vortex, a torus field of energy where we can powerfully vision and co-create the future we do want. So I just wanted to give some context to that. So thanks, Roger, for coming on and reminding us, prompting me to explain that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Roger. And I'm going to come to Carol next. Oh, Carol, are you there? Or let me
I
come.
am.
Oh, you are.
I am.
Oh, sorry. Your video was a bit
a little bit skewy.
Hi.
I'm
Yeah.
short and I'm a bit slouched. I was just going to say, I see things like the sound of freedom, not necessarily as something that's going to take those of us that are awake down rabbit holes. It's for those that are asleep or are waking up. It's almost the kick up the backside they need to get themselves moving rather than the rest of us. And I think there's an element of there's going to be lots of things kicking off that are there to activate those that are still asleep or are only just waking up,
Yeah.
to move them forward. And I don't think they're necessarily relevant for us to get involved in these days because we already are aware of it. And there are other things that need to be getting on with. So that's all I was going to say.
Thanks, Carol. Quite a few people have raised the flag, though, the alarm bell, that this could be a film which is paving the way for the idea of chips to be inserted in children so they can't be trafficked. And so, it's really interesting when you view it through the eyes of like, what is exactly going on here, and this kind of psyop and the potential for what it is kind of planting the seed or the idea that it's a dangerous world, our children aren't safe, and we need a way to protect them.
I think that's just another version of scaremongering. I mean, they're doing it over people dropping dead because of the heat in Spain, and it's like, yeah, well, the heat is, yeah, they've experienced this before. It happens now and again.
Yeah.
I was actually doing a home vet for a charity that rehouses dogs yesterday. So it was a couple I have never met before, and it was quite fascinating because don't ask me quite how we got onto the conversation, but they actually brought up lockdowns and things. And they were basically of the opinion that, yeah, they're going to try and do another one, but it ain't going to succeed because they've cried wolf. And I thought it was quite reassuring that a complete stranger that I didn't know from Adam was actually of that vein. And they think there's a lot more people out there with that attitude that now you've got us once, you're not going to get us again.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I just see them, from what you've just said about them, this being opposition to encourage things. I think it's just another scraping the barrel to come up with means of scaring us.
Yes.
I mean, as with all the things that are coming out, I mean, the fact that the mRNA jab has now got DNA in it as well, and it's got a pathogen, a chemical that's known or seriously considered to give cancer. It's like, that's looking really good for Pfizer and all the approval bodies, isn't it? And the fact that the chemical compounds aren't consistent. So there's serious manufacturing flaws, and nobody's taken action.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of revelation is coming out so often.
Yeah.
That even those that aren't awake are actually going, hang on, what's going on here? There's something. This is getting a bit ridiculous now. So I do think that a lot of it is just trying to scrape the barrel. At the end of the day, if somebody's bringing something to the forefront and making people aware of things, I think there's an element of that's great. It doesn't matter if they're Israel or not. The fact that they're bringing things to people's consciousness, that is the important bit.
Yeah.
And I actually see a negative of chipping, because if you've chipped the child, then that means it can be tracked and easily located when it's somewhere alone to be taken.
Yeah.
So I see that as a double-edged sword. So anyway, that was my little thoughts on it.
Okay, Carol. Well, thank you. Good to see you and hear from you. I'm going to come next to Colin. Colin Connaughton. Have you been on before, Colin? I don't remember you.
Yes, I was on once before.
Oh, yes, you were. Yes, you're the man with the clutter. That's right. I was commenting on your background. It's every
yes,
feng
I'm
shui
sorry. Yes, I know.
consultant's
I've
dream.
been a hoarder for about 40 years, and I really need to declutter, but I haven't got the energy to do it.
No, you need to get Marie Kondo in, Colin.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. I'm intending to do it, but it's going to take a while, a long time. Okay. Well, I've just got a few things to say. First of all, to the little list that you made, Rachel, about desirable things for a statement of intention or whatever. One would be the importance of having cash.
Yes.
Another would be freedom from vaccine passports. Another would be freedom from digital ID. Uh, Also, of course, there's the impending WHO treaty, which I believe, I don't think it's gone through yet or it's been passed or anything, but it is definitely in the offing, which threatens sovereignty of all nations who are part of it. So that needs to be fought against, I suppose,
Yeah.
or if you want to use a different word. Uh, and regarding what Carol said about the famous they are planning in the future lockdowns, yes, there's no doubt about that, that they're not giving up, they're not going to go away. And I believe they're going to use as a pretext climate change as a pretext for lockdowns and
Yes.
also 15-minute cities, of course, as well, which they're doing already. Uh, Also, I believe the WHO and the United Nations as well, I believe, have started fear mongering about another disease in the offing, which is threatening the world. I think they've got about 2 or 3 diseases in the pipeline that they're threatening us with, uh, which are spread apparently by mosquitoes. And you probably know that Bill Gates
Yeah.
has been dropping infected mosquitoes all over the place to try to,
Franken mosquitoes.
yeah, to try to infect people. Um, also, further to what Carol was saying about jabs and so on, unfortunately, there are now the uh, possibility of uh, vaccination via, well, also by mosquitoes, but also food. Apparently, they're putting or trying to put vaccines into our food now. So that is something that has to be watched out for and guarded against if at all possible.
Yeah.
All right, now the reason why I chose to come on was that there are a couple of channels I would like to recommend on YouTube because one of them I think is very noteworthy. Uh, it's an English gentleman by the name of Richard Bubbs, and I think for his age and so on, and the type of person he is, he's very obviously very middle class, well educated, quite well off. He is remarkably on the ball, very up to date on what's going on, and he's very responsive and very articulate in his channel. Uh, I'm going to post them into the chat.
Yeah.
And his latest video is very good, I think. And another one whose latest video is very good is Alaska Prepper. And he has just put out a video about climate change. Apparently, a big host of climatologists, whistleblowers, have come forward and said that they have pointed out to the United Nations and, oh, I forget what it's called, the International Climate Change Congress or whatever, that they are putting out false information, and these climatologists are pointing out that they're putting out false information, and the politicians are trying to suppress it. So Alaska Prepper has put out a little video about that, which is very pertinent, I think. Uh, climate change, I think, is the a big threat they're going to use after contagious diseases.
Yeah.
So those are the two main things to watch out for. Anyway, I will put in the chat the links to these two channels, and
Yeah.
that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Colin. Thanks for coming on and
It's okay. Welcome.
for
I'm
sharing
just
that.
putting that into the chat now.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure most people on this call are aware of Richard Vobes. Went to see him speaking in Derby the other night. I just want to, before we come to you, Brian, I'm going to come to you next, Brian. I just want to mention a couple of events because Roseanne's put one in the chat here. So there's two events I'd love to bring to your attention. First of all is the Freedom Fest, the Freedom Music Fest, which is being organised by the Hope Community in Sussex, which is this Friday, 20th July, Friday the 21st, Saturday the 22nd, and Sunday the 23rd near Battle in Sussex. And I'm speaking on Saturday afternoon at about 4. And Eli who was on the other day, he is organising the Shine Summer Celebration on 4th, 5th and 6th of August. And that's kind of Gloucester way. So the link is in the chat. So it's really great that people are organising these offline gatherings where we can come together and sing and dance and chat and have fun and inspire one another. So just wanted to give a shout out to those events. So let's come to you next, Brian. Hey, Brian.
Hello, Rachel.
Hiya.
Can
How
you
you
hear me?
doing? Yes.
Yes. I'm doing very well considering. Yes, I come back to Woking and hit the system, didn't I? And they shut it all down. So yeah, I sort of feel a bit like I'm in the Truman Show or The Prisoner, because I'm sort of come back and I'm in the system, but the system's not working much at the moment, is it? So, yes, so I'm pushing forward here, being the best I can be. I haven't been getting out much. I've been doing most of my stuff online and following stuff online. So, yes, I understand exactly where you're coming from with our intentions and what our intentions are and what we are thinking about. Yes, that is amazing wisdom, what you were saying. But I also wanted to talk to you more on a personal level, yes, because it's a personal journey as well. I'm on a spiritual journey, yes. I'm not religious. I eat my dinner religiously, yes. I do my breathing and my affirmations and my exercise, but I've been being a bit lax. I've got into my comfort zone here. And just me in the garden, as it was, and I haven't been socialising much because I don't really like crowds much. But yes, what you're saying about coming together as a community is amazing. Here in Woking, yeah, it's not bad, but I've yes come up against the system, and it doesn't really like me much, and I'm a bit loud. I do my anger management, my rehabilitation stuff, don't I? So, yes, excuse me. So, yes, what I wanted to sort of say to you was, yes, I think it would be, yeah, I want to get out of, I've got a bit comfortable here. I need to get out of comfort zone. I need to get involved in a project. And I was wondering if I turned up at Crestbrook with my tent and did my 28-day challenge and tried to find some of that Buxton spring water, well, would that be sort of okay? I sort of need a break from Woking.
Well,
so yes, so I was sort of going to contact you in some way. I haven't really got transport, you see. I should invest in some. I've been saving to get some sort of transport. But yes, so I sort of travel light. So yes, so I would like to come and have a look at your neck of the woods in Crestbrook, see what Buxton's all about. So it's been a while since I've been that far upwards.
Yeah.
Would that be an option?
So Brian, the thing about Crestbrook Dale is it's the absolute antidote to the false matrix. It's so beautiful and just pure nature. There's no sound pollution. There's no light pollution. It's just awesome. It's like a natural temple. And
Can you understand what I've been going through since I've been back in the system? I've been getting bothered and poked every day
and
by somebody or other.
This is
and
absolutely
it's been
how
very difficult.
This is absolutely how the system keeps gripping in, whether it's through, I don't know, inland revenue or the police or the social services or the debt collectors or the, you know,
I've got smart meters in the actual flat down here.
It's all designed.
I've got electric smart meter.
It's all designed to bring our vibration down, and as well as all of the food, all of the kind of fast food and the sugary and the caffeine and the da 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 da. And I'm not saying I don't have the occasional latte myself, but this is the thing. It's for us to break through and to break out of this heavy energy is a huge amount of our work. Work's not quite the right word, but this is it's the antidote is to consciously keep our vibration high. So things like natural living water, the Buxton water, just that one simple thing, drinking natural living water, it makes a massive difference. Eating well,
because I was a lot more involved in the nature before I come back to Woking.
Yes,
I was sort of off grid, and when I came back to have my operation, the whole world, I sort of hit. I was asking questions and pushing forward with my business plan because some of these, how corrupt, well, you know how corrupt the system is, and and then all these bills and all the rest of it. So yes, it's exactly right what you're saying, and here in Woking I feel a bit up against it, and yes, I feel like I would like to reconnect again, because I have been connected better than what I have now. It seems like I've been not. It's more of a struggle to do my exercises and my breathing and my meditation. It wasn't so much of an effort. It seems like here I seem to have to make more of an effort because of the machine just keeps prodding me.
So Brian, simple things like just getting out into nature is like a massive, instant, easy remedy. Just going and walking by the river or sitting in the forest or just getting out in nature. I mean, it helps me to have Kobe because I can't get out of walking him every day. So, if you're spending a lot of time in and online and on computers, that's another huge trap. That sucks us in, and we find ourselves kind of on our phones searching to see if any messages have come in, and it's luring us into this digital trap. So unhooking from that digital world is really important. With Crestbrook, though, I'm just one of a much bigger community, so I would need to just check in that everyone was happy for that, but I'm happy to ask the question just to, and there's very few facilities there, I have to say, so it really would be wild camping, which is good because it's like teaches you survival skills, basically.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, my needs are pretty basic. Yes. Okay. That is great.
I'll talk to you separately.
There was something else I wanted to say, and yes, I'm supposed to be sort of entrepreneurial, and you're supposed I'm supposed to be learning from you because you're sort of a mentor in this stuff. You do amazing work. You are prolific, and I love what you're doing. So yes, what's missing in my life as well is right livelihood, isn't it?
Mm.
As you say, I'm spending too much time being a digital warrior, or yes, I've learned enough to stay away from all that, letting that dark vertigo energy get to me. I'm about, like you're saying, creating what I want to achieve. It is a lot more difficult with the system poking you. You're right.
Yeah.
With the mainstream still corrupting you, yes, this is it. So you have to be aware of all that. That's yes, and somebody sort of mentioned it here. It's like these people that sort of watch EastEnders and do all that and keep up with the local news. Yes, they're all being persuaded by all this stuff they're putting out. So yes, yes, we see above it, but don't forget there's a lot of people out there who are buying into these narratives, and they are being manipulated. And
Yeah.
Rachel is very wise in what she says. So yes, I think I've said what I've had to say. Thank you for these amazing meetings and doing what you do, Rachel. And I'm sure I'll bump into you at some stage. Well done for doing the Freedom Rally thing. Yes, you give me hope. I think that's quite an amazing thing they did there at Hope.
Yeah.
We should be doing it all over the country, but
Yeah.
people are a bit slow, aren't they? But hopefully they will catch up. If they listen to you, they would.
Cool. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Rachel. Amazing.
Okay, I'm going to meet you back there, and I'm going to come to Anne next, just to say that the Hope community is essentially a homeschooling project. I haven't visited there yet, the actual homeschooling project, but apparently it's amazing. So Anne, let's come to you.
Hello there. Hello from Norway. It's
hi Anne.
hello. It's a long time since I've chatted on this line, but it's lovely to be here as usual. I just wanted to pick up and say, wherever we live on the planet at the moment, we feel that we're very much alone, but we're not. And I think that in many countries, there are people like this group who are trying to get things moving for a better world, a better situation.
Yeah.
There is a member of parliament here, Ola Andrew Bridgen, who stood up and talked very openly and bravely about the COVID situation. And she was shouted down, as he was, and has been blocked out. That has driven her to start up what is going to be the People's Party here in Norway.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it's very interesting. And in fact, Andrew Bridgen has talked at a conference over here that she has arranged. She is a member of parliament, and she has, in cooperation with a prominent young lawyer here, they've started up the People's Party. It's not a political party, but it'll be run on democratic principles. And they have drawn up a charter of the People's Party. And it's got 10 principles, which you might be interested in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the number one, the human being can't be owned and is sovereign in their own body and mind. Number two, the human being has property rights, and manages their community together. Number three, the needs of the human being will be taken care of by society and are suited to the individual. Number four, the seat of democratic power lies with the individual. Number five, the community is run by the people through a decentralized form of governance. Number six, the authorities are subject to the people. Number 7, democratic power is in the community, can't be transferred out of the country. Number 8, democratic power already transferred out of the country is to be transferred back. Number 9, the rights to natural resources are owned by the people and can't be sold to others. And number 10, nature's regenerative qualities in their entirety are our basis of life and must be protected. So I have joined up.
Brilliant.
I'm a bit on the old side to actually take a physical part, but I've joined them, and it's very, very interesting. And they are getting a lot of followers, but a lot of people, of course, are totally unaware of the situation that's going on around them.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot of work, but it's just to show you that there's a core here. And I'm sure there are in other parts of the world, and all with the same view in mind.
Yeah.
So therefore, we're not alone.
Yes. Yeah, I absolutely agree that this wave, this movement, it's the zeitgeist of the times, and in all its shapes and forms. And I'm watching with interest Marianne Williamson standing for president in America, and she's obviously trying to get the Democratic ticket, and there's certain things I don't agree with Marianne, and she wore the mask and everything. But having said that, a lot of the things that she's talking about are very in tune with the things that we're discussing in the Love Party. So this is the zeitgeist of the times. There is an awakening of consciousness, and to me it's super exciting, because that light flooding the matrix, it will collapse it, and this is the kind of thing that Pam Gregory talks about a lot. DL has said democracy is a psyop. One thing I would say about democracy, which is the corruption, is the level of behavioral psychology and media manipulation and propaganda, because of course the World Economic Forum control all of the media, don't they? So it's very easy for them to pump that through. However, that said, my observation is that those tabloid newspapers and the BBC, they're also losing their power massively. I mean, like especially with the young people, my sons are not in that world. They're totally on the online world, and getting their information from independent sources and cool dudes like Joe Rogan. So
fantastic, yeah. It's very interesting, and it's nice to see the young people involved. My daughter's really up to speed with it, which is fantastic. I don't have that kind of conflict, which is, it's fantastic to have that support. But a lot of young people are much more with it than we realize. But of course, a lot of people are unsure about speaking out about it.
Yeah, but it will only take this movement, this love movement, freedom movement, awakening of consciousness. It'll only need us to get to a tipping point before everyone gets it. I truly believe that. So exciting times.
It is. Yeah, but it's fantastic what you're doing, and I love being a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anne. Thanks for coming on. So, Brian, did you still have your hand up, or did you want to come on again, or is that a mistake? Oh, hold on. I put your hand down. If you want to come on, Brian, put your hand up again. And I'm coming just to the gallery now. And so here we are. It's 1:45. I'm just tuning in to see, does anyone else have any contributions to make to today's call? Some familiar faces. Colin's raised his hand, and Brian. So let's come back to Colin. And anyone else who wants to come on. Andy's put his hand up. So I'll just come to each of you. Hey, Colin. Let's give you... Oh, hold on. Did I press the button twice? Hi, Colin.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, hi.
Okay, it's just because Brian mentioned the Buxton mineral water. So I have a little bit of information to give about detoxing from vaccines, which is a problem that I have. there's a doctor on the internet called Dr. Sam Bailey, and she has put out a video about detoxing from vaccines. And what she recommended, as the main recommendation she gave, I think, was silica compounds, which apparently absorb aluminium.
Okay.
And apparently it's in horsetail, which is a plant. And I believe the what's that guy, Mike Adams, the health ranger, he sells tablets of horsetail. But actually, regarding mineral water, what Dr. Sam Bailey did was she did a study, or looked at a study, and she found that mineral waters, certain mineral waters, do have a lot of silica compounds in them, and they absorb the aluminium that will be in your system. And
Yeah.
she recommended, the study looked at the different types of mineral waters, and the two mineral waters that had high levels of silica compounds were, Spritzer was the main one, and Volvic was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get Spritzer for some reason, but I can get Volvic. So she said it might take 6 months to detox using mineral waters from aluminium. But anyway, I think Volvic and Spritzer are the two recommended mineral waters
Yeah.
for detoxing from aluminium.
Mm.
And that's it. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Colin. Thanks for coming on. I'm going to come next to Andy because he hasn't spoken yet. So, and then I'll come to you afterwards, Brian, if that's okay.
Hello.
Hey, Andy. Hi.
Hi. Oh, can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, hi there. Sorry, I haven't been on for a long time actually. It's just because of work. Can't make the 12 o'clock meeting. It's been really difficult, but I'm off now. So yeah, it's probably over a year since I've actually, been on one of the meetings, but kind of hoping where things would be a bit better by now. Back then, I think we were talking about the tipping point and it was almost there, but it's good. We're in a long game here, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it's going to take a long time. It's just a quick thing. I listened to a podcast this morning on my dog walk. James Dellenpole, I don't know if, I suppose most people have heard of him.
Yeah.
Like all things, some people don't. In the Truth and Freedom movement, oh, he's this, he's that, or whatever. But I do like his guests, and I think he's very good. But he had a really good guest on a couple of days ago. I'm just catching up, really. But his name's Fergus O'Connor Greenwood.
Okay.
And it's about 40 minutes in. It's very good. It's only about an hour long, but it's about 40 minutes in. He sort of categorizes, trying to how to explain people what's going on. And where he put it absolutely brilliantly. He put it basically in 5 categories of where we are. You got the ringleaders, then we got the strivers, and then we got the normies and the doubters, and then you got us, the rebels, really, who can see it. Yeah, and he just says it, how all these groups have been, what their incentives are, how they sort of brainwashed each individual group to how we're thinking, how they play us, And he's got a book out as well. I think it's called 180 Degrees or something. You can get it on Amazon or whatever, but he just explains it really well.
Yeah.
Because I think what the mistakes I've made, I go into deep tack too much, and I've gone down a rabbit hole too much, and I'm never going to be able to persuade people. He explains how to do that, just rather than you just lose people straight away if you because people are in denial. The normies are in denial and just want it to carry on as it is and hope things are going to get better. The doubters, he just explains how to approach people, with the people at the top, the ringleaders who they're just going to be like us in the end if things get worse. It was just a real good listen. I think if you could share that with people around, it might just a good way of maybe persuading people, what's really going on.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very difficult to people to try. I haven't persuaded anyone. I don't think I've got people doubting, but they just go in, just, they're just hoping things are just going to change and just bury their heads in the sand, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd, contribute that, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, it's been interesting because I just know from our stand in the park that people have pitched up at that, and they have
Yeah.
they're people who've been fully in the system, fully compliant, even to the extent of having jabs themselves, and they've been woken up by tragedy. I've mentioned this before, and that is it is a sad thing, but I think sometimes, and I think this happens also in life when you're sort of fully in the matrix and you're kind of in the program and you're not living your soul purpose, is like life has a way of waking you up through some horrific life event, like you suddenly have an accident, or you go bankrupt, or you get divorced, or some disaster happens, and it leads to your enlightenment, your awakening, basically. So maybe just maybe that's, people are on their path, and we just have to trust, just have to hold the space of, obviously shine the light of conscious awareness on the Wetiko, but rather than fight that, to keep creating, the future, the alternative future reality that we do want, and keep energizing that, envisioning that, and co-creating that, because then it will be there will be an alternative, because this is the thing, totalitarianism cannot work if there's an alternative choice. So that's why it's so important for us to focus energy on that, knowing that all those people will wake up over time, and then they have a choice. They don't have to be trapped in the false matrix. There will be an alternative choice, and just that simply offering an alternative choice is the liberation.
Yeah, and he was so good. He's such a calm, assured gentleman. He came across brilliant. I'm going to get his. Really...
Can you put the link into the text?
The
chat. So Andy, so people can follow that.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been on for a bit, getting used to all this again.
No worries. Okay.
Thanks for all you do again, and
thanks, Andy.
Yeah, all the best.
Thanks, Andy. Brian, I'm going to come to people who haven't spoken yet, and then I'll come back to you for the last word, maybe. I know how much you like to have the last word. So let's come to Tanya next.
Hello, thank you, Rachel. I wasn't planning on jumping on and saying anything today, but I just suddenly thought, now's the time. I want to ask you guys something. I'm really first of all, thank you for these calls. They've just been amazing. But yeah, I'm going through a bit of a challenging time at the moment with my youngest child, who she was born a girl, wants to identify as a boy. So she's kind of sucked up in the whole transgender, which the school is supporting and encouraging, and changed her name without our permission or our knowledge as parents. And it's just, and it gets worse. Like, the story is just, pretty horrific. So I'm in the position now where I'm just trying to find some support for my daughter, and reach out to anybody else who's going through the same sort of thing. And just find some support that's not mainstream, that's going to help her to go through teenagedom, which is complicated and challenging. And the research I've been doing is just shocking. I've just finished watching What is a Woman, and an amazing documentary, and it's like, oh my goodness, where do I go next? So if anybody has any ideas, support, going through the same thing, I would love to connect. I live in Wiltshire. That's what I wanted to share, really. It's been challenging.
Oh, Tanya, my heart goes out to you as a mum. It's so difficult, isn't it, as a mum, with our little babies. How old is your daughter?
She's 14.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you saw on the Love Party channel, I posted a very, very powerful talk by I forget what they're called. It was by a woman who was basically speaking out about the unlawful nature of this education, which is opening children's minds. I don't know if you saw that. Did
I
you?
didn't know. Where can I find it? I'll watch it.
So it's on the Love Party. Well, it's now called the Love Movement YouTube channel, and I posted it on Rachel Speaks Out a couple of days ago. Someone sent me the video, but it wasn't easy to share, so I uploaded it to the Love Party, and I just put why we believe that the education system needs to be reviewed. But it was a very, very powerful speech by a lawyer who is spearheading a campaign that this education system is unlawful, and it was it gave me a lot of hope that there are people absolutely on the case. So you might want to get in touch with the society that created that event, and it's gone out of my mind.
Right.
And maybe speak to them, because they will have undoubtedly access to resources that you can instantly tap into, and also potentially taking writing a cease and desist letter to the headmistress and headmaster of the school, much as we did during COVID, that they are personally liable for this unlawful education that has manipulated your daughter. Because we have to, this is a spell, it's like a curse, a spell which is being cast over our children, and it is evil, it really is. And our children are very, very malleable, aren't they? Psychologically, it's, very susceptible to PSYOP, MK Ultra grade PSYOP. So it's up to us to break this chain. I'm going to come to.
Thank you.
Let's come to Karine, who's maybe have some words for you, wise words.
Hello.
Hi, Karine.
Hi, sorry. Tanya, I just want to send you lots of love. And this is all a bit silly right now, but I suddenly thought I want to share my song. When I stand at the roadside with the yellow boards, I just download songs. So this is for all of us. It's kind of to try and hold us to the brightest light. So here goes. I think it's about 1 minute and then I'll be off. We are the love. We hold the love, we shine the light on everyone. Oh, we are the light, we hold the light, we shine the light for everyone. So come and join us, bring your light, so come and join us. Shining bright, so come and join us. Spread the light, love and light for everyone. Oh, that's it, love, light, everyone. Bless you all for all you do. And I'm just doing that and growing my veg and trying to hold to the lightest, brightest.
Oh,
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karine. Beautiful. Yeah, Tanya, so I think someone's put the link to that video. I think that's a really good starting point for you to get in touch with the society that created that event, and they will help to resource you, and some practical tools to take some action with the teachers and the teachers involved, basically. Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm just, it's 2 minutes to, I'm going to come back to Brian for the last word. I know you need at least 2 minutes to do the last words, Brian.
Yes, hello, Rachel. Yes, doing the anger management. Don't forget, I come from a small village called Knapp Hill. Burbrights is the next village along. It's not 2 miles from here. There's a Willy Wonka factory there. It's a taboo subject. Nobody wants to talk about it. Yes, there's patents there. Yes, this is sort of to Colin and stuff. Yes, there's Willy Wonka factories all over the place, but we've got one here in our village called Burbright, and the Wellcome Trust has got a lot to do with it. Burbright's got some stuff with Rothschild. Don't go there. Yes, it is all very interesting subjects. There's a statue there of a young girl to do with royalty and stuff. Yes, the rabbit holes do run deep, don't they? And these are taboo subjects. These can make me very angry. But I have got to forgive them, for they know not what they do. And I have to turn the other cheek, don't I? Because I'm on the journey. And you're amazing. Yes, there was something else I wanted to say, but I sort of got sidetracked. It was sort of to do with, oh yes, the law. Yes, I have no fear, do I? And I have courage because I am the rose, aren't I? It is the mathematics. You are too. Everybody is, aren't they? They are all the rose. It is mathematics. We are all the same because we all sort of drink from the cup. If you've got good manners and been brought up properly, you probably would drink from a cup to each other. Yes, but the law of one, isn't it? We're all under the law of one. It is gravity. You don't really understand it, do you? You talk about what's ego and quantum and all the rest of it, but it is all under the law of one, isn't it? I don't quite understand it. Nature gives me a unique experience, but the reason I have no fear and courage is because I am under the law of one and I drink from the cup, the same as what everybody else does. So this makes us one. I am one with nature. This gives me hope. And you said it's also about getting into nature, being at one with nature, eating the good, abundant plants, because it is abundant. The medicine, yes, it is all there in nature, kept from us. But they can't patent it, can they? And they can't take the magic water away from us, really. It flows underground. But they can't patent it. But they can patent that stuff at Nestles with your bucks and spree. Yes, they can patent some of that, but not the real stuff. So, yes, I love what you're doing there. And I love that you're trying to free your bucks and spring water. But it is God's anyway, isn't it? Yeah. I don't understand it. It is all God's speak to me. Time is now. Now, coming into the now, I can get into the happy. And you make me happy, Rachel. And yes, you give me hope. And yes, it mends my broken heart for the nature because the animals have a voice. And also that Willy Wonka factory there in Purbright, they had leaks before, many years ago, foot and mouth. They've had the anthrax scares. So, yes, you can see why I go on about the health and safety, isn't it? I think Brian, everybody should be concerned, not just me here in Purbright or Nat Hill, but the whole world. So, yes, I've said what I had to say. Thank you, Rachel, for letting me speak.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for coming on. And yeah, I mean, all of these things, they are satanic inversions, basically, when nature is kind of turned upside down and tampered with, and all of these Franken foods and these genetic engineering to modify things. And so the more the antidote, the more we can get back to nature and not natural, organic, that is the solution. It really is the solution. That's I feel that so strongly. So I'm going to end it there. Tanya, you have got your hand up, but I'm just conscious of time. So sending you so much love, and have a great day. So just give us a wave, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. I'm not quite sure who will be hosting. I'll see who's around to host, and have a great week. Bye for now.